Dear students, let us start with another API, that is the write API. So write API, it is used to write some data in a file. So here these two header files will be there, sys types.h and unixdt.h, and s size underscore t write integer file descriptor comma const void star buff comma size underscore t size. The write function puts a fixed size block of data to a file referenced by a file descriptor. So this file descriptor, it represents the file in which data need to be written, and how much data need to be written, that buffer is the address of a buffer which contains data to be written to the file. So in this buffer, it holds the address from where data need to be written, data need to be taken, and it should be written in the file descriptor. Next, size underscore t size. So size, it specifies how many bytes of data are in the buffer argument. So how many bytes of data need to be written in this one, or how many bytes of data are there in the buffer size it holds. We can study with this is also a return type. Its return type is s size underscore t. So upon successful completion, the number of bytes actually written is returned. How many bytes are written in that file, it should be returned. Next, the number can be smaller than n bytes, even 0. So how many bytes need to be written, that can be smaller than n number of bytes, and it can even be 0 also. And the if this write API is not executed successfully, if the write API is not executed successfully, then it will return -1. So in different cases, it can happen that it will not be executed successfully, because suppose the file descriptor, it is representing a file which is not present at the moment, then it can return -1. For example, let us see hash include sys types.h hash include string.h cat buff 20 size underscore t in bytes, size s size underscore t bytes written, integer file descriptor, then string copy buff size, this is a test. So this string I want to write, so this string is copied in buffer. Now n bytes is nothing but length of this buffer, it's nothing length of this string. Now bytes written equal to write fd. Fd is what? It is representing the file. Which file? That is the uh, in which the data need to be written. Fd and buffer. Buffer holds the data and n bytes. How many bytes need to be written? It will be written n bytes. So how much byte data is written, that will be returned, and it will be assigned to bytes written. Next is close API. So close API is used to terminate the connection of an open file. Now it's a prototype with integer close integer file descriptor. Using only one parameter is there, that is a file descriptor. Only one parameter we can close the API. The close function disconnects a file from a process. The close function disconnects a file from a process. File descriptor is an integer file descriptor that refers to an opened file. File descriptor is an integer file descriptor that refers to an opened file. The return value of close is 0 if the call succeeds. This can also return 0 on the successful close of the file representing by the file descriptor. If it is not successfully executed, then it can return -1, which is the sign of some error has occurred. Let us see one example of the close API. Here some header file we can include, an integer main, integer n, fd, char of 50. Enter text to write in the file. So read 0, buffer and 50. See, 0 is the file descriptor value of its standard input, which is the keyboard. Next, buffer. In buffer holds the address from where the data need to be read, and 50 is the size of the bytes of the data which need to be read, and how much data is read, that will be returned and it will be assigned to n. Next, open the file for create and read and write operation, and it is assigning read, write, execute for all the user group and others. Now it will return an integer value that is called file descriptor. Now we are writing file descriptor, size of the buffer, and n value we are writing. Again we are writing one data from we are writing on a standard output from the buffer of n bytes of data, and then we are closing the file using the file descriptor and return 0. So this is the close API. In the next class we can see the some more APIs for system calls.